Welcome to another video about Coindepo. Why I'm doing this video is basically I was asked why no video was coming out recently about Coindepo, because honestly, to make it quick and short, it's just working, it's generating interest, but there are some things that happened and some things we are going to look out for, and I'm just going to talk about them shortly. So let's first start in these troubling times with some good news. Coindepo already had a charity program which is now expanding. They are contributing their first $10,000 for support in Rwanda, giving it to Give Directly, which is a non-profit organization that is helping for people living in extreme poverty. I think it's cool to give something away if you're printing millions, or have a huge crypto backing by your own token. And this is just an extension of what we're already doing, and we established another program with World Child Cancer, basically also donated their first 10,000, and this is very cool, and I think it's a great idea to do something meaningful if you can, and if you can afford it, which we apparently can. Jumping into some of my recent transactions, just to saying or showing basically the interest is getting paid and paid and paid. So in regular intervals, I withdraw some from my affiliate payments that I receive, but my own stash I'm just letting grow here. They do not differentiate actually. My affiliate payments are just getting into my daily USDC balance, so it's no difference than what I would deposit. And the rest I just let grow here. Like you can see, I have some interest payment on Bitcoin. Most of my stuff I moved actually now to monthly. I have some in the daily, but going to the monthly for getting the juicy little bit more, because I think it will stay here for a long time, considering when I actually bought, for example, most of my Bitcoin and where we are now, the Bitcoin dropped significantly, but it doesn't make me very nervous. I just will wait it out, and if it takes a year or two until it reaches again my average buying price, which I think at least for that batch that is sitting here is like 90,000. Yeah, well, in this time it rose by over 20%, more or less 30%, depending on what time frame we're talking about. And then I'm just selling some of it for profit to pay something off, or to have a nice vacation or something like that. I don't know yet. The good thing for the drop of the prices is that I'm actually now in tier 4, because the Coindepo token stayed relatively stable from the prices compared to everything else. So my overall portfolio balance dropped significantly while everything's down. But my token portfolio balance only took a dive of 2 or 3%. So in overall, this means I have now passed the 15% mark, and I get 1% more interest on everything, which is also nice. So what to look out for? Well, first for starters, if you're interested in the Coindepo token or already own it, you probably should have looked at the tokenomics. And one thing about the tokenomics is basically the repurchasing and burning plan. So this should be coming sooner or later. I have no yet a specific date, and it will be super interesting to see how much I are actually going to buy back and burn. So I'm not expecting too much for the first burn cycle, but it will be interesting to see in what amounts we're talking. I'm talking 0.01%, 0.1%, 1%. So how much I are going to buy back and burn will be just interesting to see, and maybe estimate if the tokenomics is stable, and if we actually could have a price appreciation if this token gets more scarce and scarce, because it will be half of the supply over the time that will be burned. No specific dates, meaning we don't know how long it will take until 50% are burned, because we plan to use 20% of profit. The second thing is actually the Q4 report. So we got a Q3 report of 2025, and I already covered it in a different video, and now we are waiting basically for the Q4 report. the Q3 came one quarter after, so the Q3 was released at the end of Q4, so I'm expecting the Q4 of 2025 to be released at the end of Q1 of 26, so probably somewhere around end of March. And I think I read something along these lines already in the Telegram chat, so I will definitely look into that and give that one a go and make a video about it. The third thing is actually further validation and transparency, because yes, you can see that Coindepo actually claims to have crypto under management from 224 million, which I think is quite good, comparing that the overall markets are hugely down. So this leads to two assumptions. One is either that a lot of people deploy stablecoins on here, or the other one, that although the whole market is down, more and more people deploy crypto assets here, because Bitcoin is down like 50% overall from its all-time high. So if this number stays stable and is growing slowly but surely, which it is, we need to have some independent verification and audit that is actually existing. So this is on their roadmap from what I have gathered from the Telegram chat, because other people were asking that as well. So this would be very interesting, because so far we have a lot of audits regarding the IT security and overall security, which I think is very important if you handle that amount of money. But this number and also the number in the Q3 reports are currently not verifiable. So we have to wait until we get an actual independent third-party audit. And the last thing, which I just looked up, and you can also find it on the company about us on the bottom with their roadmap, which I think is a bit hidden, is the new licenses we want to acquire, especially the VASP license and later on then the MiCA license for the European markets. And as far as I understood it in the chats, we are planning to move forward with this, or the time frame of this is like in the mid of the year. You see it, Q2 are calling them MiCA regulations. So this will also be something that will move the transparency and the trust value up by a lot, which I think is, of course, introducing new cost parts for them. So we also have to pay another regulatory and legal fees, like you can already see in the Q3 reports for other licensing stuff. But overall, I think this is a very smart move to also adhere to the European markets. One thing I don't like, which I just saw in the chat again when I scrolled through it, I do not plan to add USC as a token, at least not yet. And I think this is really important. For me, it would be very important to have that, because, yeah, what's the point in deploying USDC, a stablecoin that is backed by the dollar, when I need to pay in euro and the dollar is just losing value overall, which is honestly happening currently. So maybe it's getting strength again, but at least like USC would be great, and would be also, it's asked more and more frequently, because I think more and more people realize, especially European people, that you need to have something stable for them. So USDC is stable coin for people who need to pay in USDC or in USD, but USDC is currently not stable for European people, sadly, but it is the truth. And yeah, one question I got in the video comments is, do you need the Coindepo token to actually be able to withdraw? Short answer, no. So this is only if you want to participate in the token advantage program, which can net you up to 3% more interest, and it can reduce the interest you pay on your borrowed coins. So this is basically just an update, what I'm expecting this year to look forward to, what could impact it. So basically the Q4 report may impact how much I'm willing to deploy here or not, or if I would be withdrawing something, and the rest we will see.